everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ljubljana Talks, recorded live here at Ljubljana Castle in Ljubljana during Conventa Crossover. And we are with Gorazd, we are here with Bart Kokke, with Tender Canvas, the art of science of pitching. How would you do a pitch for us of Tender Canvas?
Well, the pitch in one sentence is that I came up with this model with 15 pillars, and if you follow those pillars in your pitch, your chance of winning is much higher.
Great. What are those based on? Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, what I find out if it comes to tender processes is that it's very complex to participate as an agency or as a event agency. And then there are a lot of requirements you have to fulfill in your pitch. And then sometimes people are distracted by all the requirements. And our approach is that we see that as background noise. So you just follow and you embrace all the rules and regulation in a complex pitch from the government. And when you do that, the chance is higher that you speed up to create a vision and towards a great narrative and creative. So what we do actually is that where other maybe competitors in a pitch, they still have this allergy towards the rules, and we transform that into energy and speed up to create a vision towards the win.
Can you share some data about your project so far?
On average, I believe that we have won 70% of our pitches. We do about 10 pitches a year, I think. We are a small company with 3 people. And I can say that we won an amount of 75 million of contract value in the past 5 years for the creative industry in the Netherlands, which is quite a lot. So I would say that with my company, which is small, we have a huge impact on the agencies where we win pitches with. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your background, how you started, how you came to this, I would say, idea? So a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, I have a background in communication, and I started working at advertising agencies, and then I continued to work more on live communication and brand activation. I produced the Pride sponsorship for Philips for 5 years. I did the whole production. The Pride in Amsterdam is on the canal, so it's on a boat. So you need all the equipment and the safety procedures. You need your hospitality. We have a content team on the boat itself. We had a content team on the canals, the sides of the canals. So basically, it was a local campaign in Amsterdam, but actually it was an internal global campaign amongst all the offices of Philips worldwide to embrace diversity and LGBT emancipation worldwide. And what I learned from working towards a live moment, like a live event, that every detail is important to the big event. It sums up for the whole atmosphere. And what I try and do now in the pitch is every single detail, I make sure that it's in place. And then in the end, if you send in your proposal, it's more likely that the client who's going to award if you win or not, they feel the trust of all details. So I bring I can say that I bring the energy of my background in brand activation towards the pitching. Yeah.
Pitching is a point of pain for a lot of people, agencies, but also they are changing. Yeah. What would you say is now the defining winning pitch or elements of a winning pitch in 2025?
I would say that's structure and trust. So obviously you need a great creative and a vision and a great strategy for the win. And I think that the difference you can make on all these small details is that you deliver 100% or maybe more towards all the requirements. And if you really listen to what the client needs or ask the best questions to get more in-depth information from the client. You show that you will understand the client, and then they will feel much more trusted that you also can deliver after the win. Yeah.
Did you develop the whole actually methodology and tool based on the design thinking philosophy, or what is behind actually, or this is completely unique, I would say, approach?
Well, I think my approach is unique. These 15 pillars, and actually is inspired upon a pitch I won with a Dutch agency company, and we did this pitch for the Chamber of Commerce, and 40% of the weight of the reward in points was for the creative, and 60% was of the process. What is your process to develop a great event production? And so I asked the company, so how do you start, and what is your process? And then they just said we just begin and come up with something good. But that's not enough for this tender for the Chamber of Commerce. So then I did some research and I came across the event canvas model. Obviously, you know that model. And then I saw the dynamic of the structure of the model. And I suggested to them, maybe we should work with the event canvas as a process towards the creative. And then they asked me, but do you think we should do this? Do we have more chance of winning if we use this model? And I said, yes, I think you will do. So we did. We won the pitch, and then the event canvas was my inspiration for tender canvas. So I looked up, is there a canvas for tenders? And I couldn't find one. And then I saw that tender canvas was still .com was still available. Oh, wow. And then it inspired me and motivated me to also took that name, not only for my model, but also for my company name as well, because it makes it easier, obviously, to use it the same.
I want to ask you about your personal opinion about the relationship between agencies and clients in the Netherlands. How it is actually when you are working with the clients. What can you say? Is this a fair deal or fair relationship, or there is a conflict, or what do you think about it?
With client and agencies, yes, you mean? Yes. Well, in the tender process, the tender process is structured by European law. So it's kind of to create a level playing field for all agencies. When it comes to a commercial pitch, then brands as Heineken or Adidas, name any commercial brand, they can just pick an event agency and then make their own rules. There is, I'm here with Maarten Schram from the IDEA. This is the brand organization, how can I say that? The sector organization for the event.
It's an association.
Association, for the sector for the Dutch creative event agencies, and they just developed a pitch code, and they're gonna launch it end of September, and in that way, Maarten tries to help to make it more, the process more clear and more fair for the whole industry.
This was actually my question. It's because we see a lot of different ways of how tenders are organized. I know that for a European level it's like that, but companies do it in many different ways.
Yeah.
Do you also help companies create the tender? Because sometimes you get the tender in and you have more questions than answers in that tender. And sometimes the tender is so well constructed, you know exactly what you're trying to do in each of the questions. So do you work with companies also in that regard? On what would be your one thing that you would say, please do not do that when you send it out?
I would say that one thing is that a tender or a pitch should be proportional. I'm not sure if I tell it right. So that you don't ask too much of the agencies who compete, because it's a really time-consuming process. So make it clear what the rules are, and that it's that every party has equal chance of winning. and also challenge them to come up with a great creative, but don't make it too much that they have to invest too much hours of month of a whole team, pitch team, because if there are like 4 other competitors who doesn't win, they also lose the kind of the mentality, and they lost a lot of hours of investing. Yeah.
So should clients be required to pay a fee for a pitch? What is your opinion about it?
Yeah, I think yeah, they should, and sometimes they do. I haven't seen any more payment than 10,000 euros, which is a fraction of the investment of the internal hours, basically. So yeah, it does cover the cost, the external cost. Like for example, working with Thunder Canvas. So it can cover those costs, or because you need to use, I don't know, to a videographer or an editor to make like a nice video of your vision. Yeah, but that's not as it will not cover all the costs of the internal hours. Yeah.
Can you share some of the problems which you figure out when you are working with the clients, which are the most common in a tender process or in a pitching process? What can you say about it? What is the biggest mistake of our colleagues they are doing actually? You said not listening to the clients, that's something, but what else can you share with us?
The assumption that you have to deliver exactly what the requirements are. So, for example, if you have in a tender process, sometimes you are even you're not allowed to present your proposal. So, if you have only 4 pages to write down your proposal, then I would say use 80% of that space for 100% of the requirements. And these 20% you write down what's not been asked in the pitch. And I call it tender request as one of those pillars, is what is the question behind the question of the pitch request, and try to research what they really need if it comes to policies, if it comes to organizational, other organizational goals around the pitch itself. And if you there's the photographer.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Yeah.
You're being documented all
Thanks.
the time.
Thanks. Yeah, so I challenge the agencies I work with to try to to write down 100% of everything and 80% of the
How do you see AI coming to help with writing the tender and writing the pitch?
It helps obviously with structure your pitch, like I do with my tender canvas model. Also, I wanted to address that the event canvas model has a nice designed kind of. The model is nicely designed. I did the same in terms of that. You see kind of a T in the middle, and I used 3 different colors. So it's already starting a tender with the tender canvas model. You already start from a kind of a design thinking approach, which is nice. So AI, I use it to check if the narrative of the pitch is 100% score of the brief. So you can check with AI if you fulfill everything. I use AI to structure the narrative, but the narrative itself, I think still you need your own words or the words from the cultural background of the company, of the event agency. And so I still write and rewrite the proposal 10, maybe 15 times. Oh, wow. And so once it is written, then I write it for another stakeholder and then another stakeholder.
Very good.
And I rewrite it every time from a different perspective. So rewriting the proposal in the end makes it kind of more in the direction of a 10, like the best proposal. And AI can help you with that, but also it can distract you from your own words because it's using different words. And then it might not connect with the brief or the energy or the pitch request itself.
Tell us more. What can we expect tomorrow? What will you share with the participants of Conventa Crossover, and what those who are not here will miss tomorrow?
Well, I will obviously I will present the tender canvas model, and thank you again for for the honor. It's very for the honor of presenting it tomorrow. I will dive into this chamber of the Dutch Chamber of Commerce pitch, which I won. I will dive into two other pitches I won last year, and if it comes to cultural fit. What I do is I reframe the request. So one teaser for tomorrow then is that in one pitch in the beginning when I started 5 years ago, they asked for an escalation model, but an escalation model emphasizes kind of conflict. So I reframed that model into something positive, well, you have to come tomorrow.
Can you give us an example of escalation model? What would that be? I'm not familiar with that.
An escalation, well, an escalation model, you obviously helps you to avoid risk. For example, lack of electricity in a live event is something you want to avoid, or lack of Wi-Fi connection into when it is a online event. So how do you work in your process to avoid these kind of risks? And I did some research, and an escalation model is actually something from politics. When you are in a green zone, you have no conflict. When it is orange, you're almost into red. Red is the conflict or the escalation, and then you can't solve it.
At this particular moment globally.
Where are we in this particular moment?
In terms of the
world.
The world. I think it's dark orange. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But and try to reframe that in something positive is kind of the soft skills of a company, how they work together, and that means that you motivate your employees to that you trust them in their expertise, that you give them autonomy, that you try to have a good relationship with your employees, and that they are more likely to express their doubts if they are not sure. And when they are more likely to express the doubts in a process, you're more likely that you avoid risk because you signal a possible risk more sooner. Yeah.
Bart, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
The questions that we will now ask you are short fire questions, and we usually finish up with those.
Yeah.
And I'll say, is it your first time to Ljubljana?
Yes.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Left or right side of brain?
I believe left side.
Can you explain this more?
I think left side, if I'm right, it's more about the creative part of the brain.
Yeah.
Math is the right is more mathematical, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the right side. That's why I have my framework and the models to bring my left side more up. I would guess. Yeah.
Let's finish up with because it's getting late in the day. Beer or wine?
Beer.
Bart, thank you once again for being our guest.
Yeah.
And everybody, you're all invited to join us tomorrow to see your presentation. And stay tuned, we are coming back soon.